Welcome everyone, Farm Sim Snowy here. So in this video I'm going to go over a few methods in which you can make some fast, easy money in Farming Simulator 19. I've chose 7 methods. Obviously there probably is more methods out there that you could try and you might find work better for you, but I've chose 7 that sort of stand out more to me personally, that I think sort of are worth mentioning. The last 2 on the list that I will show you are technically cheating, so that's up to you whether you use those 2 methods or not, or in fact whether you use any of these methods, but I do highly recommend using some of these. So without further ado, let's jump in and have a look. Right, so I'm here on Ravenport, which is one of the base game maps, and I'm in New Farmer mode. And in New Farmer mode, on pretty much every map, even the modded in ones, you'll start off with some starting equipment. Now some modded in maps on the other 2 modes, Start from Scratch and Farm Manager, you will still start off with the same equipment. So this will work on some modded maps in the other 2 modes, but other maps it might not work on. So it all depends what sort of equipment you start off with and what mode you're in. But like I say, New Farmer mode, we start off with 3 tractors. We've got 2 Case 7210s, and then right down the back there we've got a Fiat. Now, do we really need 3 tractors, especially when we're starting out? That is what you've got to ask yourself. So if we go into our garage, you can see we've got the 3 tractors here. Now the cases are worth 73,500 each. The Fiat I'm not a big fan of. It only does 15 miles per hour. It's got a reasonably good horsepower. So what I would recommend is going down to just 1 tractor to start with and making one of these cases our main tractor. So we could get rid of these 2. Now we can sell them directly from our garage here in this menu, but as you can see they're worth $73,500. Now what I highly recommend is, if you can, take all of your equipment, if you're going to sell it, to the shop, because you will get more money for it at the shop. And if we scroll through the rest of our equipment, some of this is worth keeping. We've got 2 weights, so if we are going to go down to 1 tractor, we don't need 2 weights, so we can sell one of those. And then we've also, on Ravenport, we've got all these farm buildings, which are just strictly for decoration. You can't go in any of these, you can't use them, you can't put anything in there. So you can see they're worth some good money. If we go down to the big red one here, just to show you as an example, you can't go in any of these doors. They're just there for decoration, to make our farm look pretty and look like a farm, which is all well and good, but what's the point in having them if they don't do anything? So if we go back in our garage, obviously we can't take these to the shop because they're buildings, but we will sell all of them. And we'll keep the farmhouse because obviously we need somewhere to sleep. Now they've all gone, opens up all this area, and we've made $130,000 within about 30 seconds. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one of these cases and I'm going to drive it to the shop, because it's a little bit of a drive, and I'm also going to take one of these weights, and I'll show you when we get to the shop about selling them. So I'll see you down there. Right, so we're just down here at the shop. We want to go around the back because that is where our maintenance area is to sell the equipment. So if we drop the weight off in this zone and back out the tractor, we go into our garage. We've got the 2 weights there. As you can see, one of them's already gone down by $1. So if you're going to sell these, I highly recommend you doing it straight away. So just remember those figures, 674, we'll take the lowest one. Now if we bring it down to the shop, that is now worth $808 to us. So you can see the difference. what I highly recommend as well is if any of your equipment needs repairing, repair it before you sell it, because you will make a little bit extra as well. It's only a few extra pounds, euros or dollars, but it is worth doing it. Obviously these don't need repairing because they're pretty much brand new. So sorry, if we sell that, that's gone. We've made $808. Now if we put the tractor back in there, that tractor 88,143. If we were to sell it directly from our garage, you can see you're only going to get 73,000 just over. So again, you're making a lot more money by bringing it here to the workshop to sell. So I'll go and grab the Fiat and I'll bring that back over as well just to show you. Right, same thing with the Fiat. As you can see, this thing is so slow. Park it up in the zone. If we were to go into our garage, 44,238 if we sold it directly from the garage. From here, 53,000 just over sold. So we started off with $100,000 and we've now got $372,000 just over. So that is what I mean by about selling any of your unused equipment. Now another good method I highly recommend is selling the contents of your silo. Again, this is only going to be in new farmer mode because you do start off with crops in your silo, whereas the other two modes you don't. So if we have a quick look, you can see in our silo it's just the standard crops that you get given, so wheat, barley, oat, canola, sunflower seeds, soybeans and corn. We've got some of each of those in the silo. What I like to do, if you can obviously afford to lease another trailer, it just cuts down the time a bit, so we could take two separate loads. What I like to try and do is, if we look on our menu, ideally you want to sell at the best price for each one. So if we look at our highest paying crops, which are really sunflowers, soybeans and possibly canola, sunflowers have got a really good price of $16.39 at Grain Elevator East, but the soybeans at the same place are going down. So our best price there is at Port Southeast for 1,527. So what I like to try and do is head to the same place with two different crops. So what my thinking was, I'm going to take soybeans because they're a pretty good price there, and we're going to take a trailer full of wheat, which is the first symbol there, which are both got the best price at Port Southeast. Now wheat isn't a massive payer outer, but it just means that we can kill sort of two birds with one stone there. But sometimes you might find that your two best paying crops are available at the same place, but just for this instance we're going to go there. So we've got our trailer full of wheat and soybeans, and I'll see you down at Port Southeast. So here we are at Port Southeast. We should be able to tip both of these at the same time, like so. We can see our money going up. Bam! We've made €24,175. So basically that's just free money. So I highly recommend you sell off the contents of your silo straight away. Tip number 3 is doing contracts. So if we come along to the contracts menu, my two favourite contracts to do is harvesting and fertilising, because if you get the right equipment you can sort of do these ones pretty quick. So you take this one here, field 10, fertilising. That's going to pay us out 9,494 for doing that contract. Now if you've got your own equipment you can just use that. The only thing you'll have to pay out for is the fertiliser itself. But with the contracts you can lease the equipment. So we could lease their equipment to do their contract for them. So they're going to give us a tractor and a sprayer there. And that's going to take 1,356 off the total price of 9,494. Obviously if you've got your own equipment, that price doesn't come into the equation. All you'll be paying for is the fertiliser. Even if you lease equipment you're still going to have to pay for the fertiliser. So you can see down the bottom, because I'm on PlayStation, we can either accept contract, which means we'll accept it and that will be using our own equipment, or we can press triangle and we'll borrow items, which means we will lease their equipment and we will get hit with that charge. Some of the fees aren't too bad. So if we go up to this contract here, obviously it's going to be a smaller field, that's why it's a less fee for the leasing the equipment. That's only going to be 303 euros off of our total price. And the good thing about some of the contracts is if you're new to the game, or if you haven't even used any of the equipment, we could lease this equipment here to do this cotton contract. So we get to use a cotton harvester. So if you've never tried that, you can do that, and it's only going to cost you 303 euros, which is pretty good. And you get to use, if you get a real big field on some of the American maps, you get to use some really big equipment, tractors, trailers, trucks, harvesters. So that can be like a good way to testing out new equipment. What else I was going to say is, with the harvesting contract, the reason why I like doing them is because once you've finished harvesting the contract, and you see there we have to take his product to Grain Elevator East, you don't always get rid of the product, you get left some. So you'll get a percentage, we'll go through this in a second, you'll get a percentage completion for the contract. So even when you harvest the whole field, that isn't 100% complete. It will be, I'm not sure what the figure will be, we'll have a look in a second. But until you start tipping off their required amount, that will be 100% completion, and then whatever's left in the trailer will be yours. So if you carry on tipping, you will earn money off of that crop that's left. Now what you could do is keep stopping as you're tipping. So when you get to 100%, try and keep as much product in the trailer as possible, and then if there's a sale point that's got a better price, then I recommend you take it to that sale point and sell it there for a higher price, which will make you more money. But hopefully some contracts, when you do take it to Grain Elevator East, in fact let's have a look. So it's sunflowers, and they're asking us to go to Grain Elevator East. That is the best price for sunflowers. So that method I've just said would not affect us. So we could just carry on tipping, which we will do, and we'll be selling sunflowers ourselves for the best price. I'll borrow their equipment. So we will triangle, borrow items, everything will be down the shop. So what I'll do is I'll grab the stuff, I'll go over to the field, and I'll see you at the field. Right, so we're at our field, ready to go. I did use the header trailer. Now, if we unfold our harvester, as you can see, we're at 0% progress for this contract. So obviously you can hire workers to do contracts for you, but bear in mind you will have to pay them a fee. They're not going to do everything for free, so that will get taken off of your price as well for the contract. So as we're going, the bar's slightly filling up, but because it's such a big field, we're still on 0%. There you go, we've hit 1%. So I'll see you back here when we're almost finished this contract. So we've got 30,000 litres. Obviously not all of it is ours, but some of it will be. So what we'll do is I'll head on down to Grain Elevator East and I shall see you down there. So like I said before, you can start tipping this and stop it to which we will do. So if we stop, you can keep checking. So we're only at 85, so I think it's going to take all this trailer probably. You can see it's gone 87, 89, 91, 93, 95, so we're at 96, so it is going to eat into the second trailer. We're at 98, and also you can see at the top it says 71% transported for field 16, and there's the contract finish. So because I wasn't quick enough, we sold some of it, but we made 1,804. But as I said earlier, we are at the best place for the price for sunflowers anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So we could have just carried on selling, and obviously we're making money now ourselves, and that is done. So we made off of that contract an extra nearly, well, over 17,000, and we've still got the money to collect. So as you can see, the contract was originally worth 7,857, but because we leased their equipment, it knocks off that cost, so our total cost was 6,619. Well, what I will say is if you do hit 100% on the contract, do not click collect on this, because if you've got grain still in the trailer, you will lose that and the equipment will go back. So as soon as we collect that, that is the end of the contract and the equipment disappears. So that is another nice way to make money. Next up, we've got horses. I've chosen these because they can earn you up to 50,000 per horse, providing you look after them and train them up. They're pretty easy to look after. They don't need a lot, and they don't make a mess of their feed troughs, so you don't have to clean them up. I've got some basic in-game equipment because they need feed is just hay and oats. They need water and they need straw for their bedding. So the first thing you can do is get some horses. Two ways to do this. You can either come round here to the animal dialogue box. I've just got a standard in-game horse paddock, which you can find under placeables, under animal pens, which is there. 50,000 to buy, holds 8 horses. Obviously there's plenty of mods out there. If you only want 4 horses, there's a pen for that, probably a lot cheaper than 50,000 to buy, but just for this video I'm using a standard in-game one. And then, like I say, you can come to this animal dialogue box and click on it. You can buy them direct from here. If you buy them from here, you get charged straight away a 300 delivery fee. or you can buy or lease an animal transport trailer and buy them from the animal dealer and deliver them to your pen yourself, and it will cut out that fee there. But if you're only looking to get a couple, 2, 3, 4, you need to work out, is it worth leasing an animal trailer instead of just getting them delivered straight away. That's one thing to take in mind. So we're just going to buy 4 horses. Initial cost 20,000, but we're getting charged 1,200 delivery fee. As you can see, at the minute they're worth 5,000 to buy, so we confirm that. And now if we go into our animal dialog box, animal menu, sorry, there they are. They've all got names. You can rename them. As you can see, bottom left, if I press square, I can rename them, call them whatever I want. I don't think the game accepts any swear words or dodgy words if you're thinking about that. But as you can see, straight away they've decreased in value from what we've bought them, so they're only worth 2,975. And I hear you saying, what's the point? Well, there is a point, because you can get them up to, like I say, 50,000 per horse. So you've got a menu there below the picture of the horse. The red bar there, which is very low, saying only 5%, that is their fitness level. So if you get that right up to 100% fitness, that is when they will be 50,000. Every time you ride them, because you will need to ride them every day, and it is for 5 minutes, which is 5 real-time minutes. Once you bring them back into your pen, or unless you just ride them round the pen, whatever you want to do, you will need to clean them. And if you look after them like that, the next day their fitness level will go up a certain percentage, which means their value will go back up. And once you hit 100%, you can sell them for 50,000. Obviously you can sell them before that, but that is the maximum they will go to, 50,000. Below the fitness bar, you've got a health bar with the little heart and the plus symbol. That is at 100%. Obviously if you neglect them, they run out of water or feed, that bar is going to drop, and so will their value. And then the bar below that is their cleanliness. So like I say, when you bring them back to the pen after riding, they will be dirty and they will need to be cleaned or brushed, which I will show you all that in a second. At the minute that is 100%, but as you're riding them, that goes down in numbers. So first things first, let's show you the straw. And I've just got standard in-game things. So there's 2 ways to do the straw. You can do this straw blower with a bell, or you can tip in loose. I've got a trailer full of loose straw there. The good thing about this little blower here is if we detach, and I reverse back out, it comes with its own set of bell spikes, as you can see, which is very handy and useful if you did go down this route. But we're attached up to it. It is quite heavy, so you'll need a weight. I have got a weight on the back, but it's still trying to tip me. We're coming to our straw area. As you can see, the trigger comes up. As soon as we do that, it will blow the straw in straight onto the horses, and it will start filling. As you can see, the straw levels going up. But what I'll do is I'll stop that, because now I want to show you it can be a little bit fiddly. That we can tip in loose straw as well. So if we back up to this, the trailer should connect to the weight, which is good. There we go, we've got the straw icon come up. As you can see, we're tipping in loose straw, and the straw appears in the pen like so. As for the water, I've just got a standard in-game water trailer. Now, depending on what map you are, some maps like Felsbrunn has, just over there in the distance between here and the shop, there's quite a big pond, so you can fill up from water sources like that. If you haven't got access to one of those on the map you're on, you've got a standard in-game water station which you can just place down anywhere where you like, as you can see. Or again, there's plenty of modded in things for you to get water. But for the water, I'll scoot around this way. You just need to drive up into the trigger area again, like so. And as we get a good angle, you'll see the water appear. It's filling up the trough. And there you go, it's filling up the bar. Fully loaded, like so. So all that's left is the feed, and again you can do this two ways. You can use bells or you can use loose. Now if you're thinking, well, I haven't got access to all this, I haven't grown any oats, I haven't grown any hay or anything like that, if we come into here and go across to objects, big bags, straight away we've got the Lizard oat big bag, which gives you 1,000 litres, so you could use these to get you going. And again, there's plenty of mods out there, probably different size bags and pallets and whatnot. And as for bales, you come into here, we've got square bale hay, and we've got round ones as well, so you could buy these to get you going. And I've got a square bale just to show you that we can tip it straight in. So we're using our bale spikes off of the straw blower. And if you come up around here and just tip it in, there you go, and it started filling up the feed trough. So we've got 4,000 litres of hay, because that is how much is in one of the bales. What I'll show you is we've got some oats here, loose. We'll pull up. We've got our oat trigger there. We're tipping in loose. As you can see, the oat bar's filling up. We've only got 4,000 litres in there, so that should stop. Like so. And if I get rid of this trailer and hook up to here, let's zoom in a little bit. So we've got a big bag of oats now on here. If we drive up to the trough, it will start tipping it straight out into the trough, and as you can see, it's going up again, the oat bar on the right, which is very good. And then once that big bag is empty, it will disappear. So that is how to feed them and give them straw bedding. As you can see, they're all there. So now the riding section. So if we jump in, what I like to do really is wake up sort of a bit early in a game day, sort of depending on what map you are on, because sometimes maps are a bit darker in the mornings, but I like to get up about 6:30, 7, ride my horses straight away, then that's done for the day. You don't have to worry about that till the next day. So we will grab this one here. So you come up to it, to get on the horse, it's like entering a vehicle. We press square on console. So now we're on ocean, and then we just pull the right trigger or accelerator to start trotting around. It doesn't matter how fast you go, it doesn't make it quicker, it's still 5 minutes whatever you do. So now if we look down at ocean, you see our cleanliness bar down the bottom's going down, 96. That's because we're riding her and making her dirty. Press accelerator or the trigger again, we've got a bit of a trot, and we can go right up to sort of a big old gallop. And you can jump out of the pen without crashing a horse. So you could go on a proper good old ride, but you don't want to be too far away. So what I'm going to do is head up somewhere where we're not going to crash. So as you can see on Ocean, her percentage next to her name, daily riding, 20%. We're up to 21% already. When that gets to 100, that is her daily or his daily riding completed, which then means you can put them back in the pen, and their cleanliness is going down all the time. 86, that'll go down to 85 now, but the daily riding percentage is going up. So what I'll do is I'll carry on riding Ocean until they get to 100%, and I'll see you back in a second. Right, as you can see, we are at 100%. So we need to put Ocean back in their pen. You can either jump the fence, or there is a gate there for you, but we're going to jump the fence, I think. So you need to completely stop like that. You jump off. Horse Ocean is back in stable. As you can see with Ocean, their value has decreased compared to the others because we've made her dirty, so she needs cleaning. So if I put my help menu on, and we will find Ocean, where's she gone? There she is. If you walk up to her, preferably once she stops walking, as you can see, clean Ocean. So if I press circle, because I'm on PlayStation, that makes a little brush noise. Now if we come into this menu, she's 100% clean now, and the value goes back to the same as the others, but she is now 100% ridden for the day. So there you go. And then tomorrow, which I will show you, actually I wasn't going to do that, I will show you Ocean's value. I won't ride the others, but I will skip through to the next day and show you. So 2,975 at the minute. I shall see you tomorrow. So we are on a new day, pretty miserable day as well. Our horses are there. If we go into the menu, as you can see, Twilight has gone down in price. Some of the water and straw's gone down, as well as the feed. And our fitness has gone down from 5% to 3% because we didn't ride them at all yesterday. Whereas Ocean got ridden yesterday, fitness has gone up to 15%, so it's gone up 10%, and her value has gone up to 7,926. So where these ones we did nothing with yesterday have dropped in value and fitness. Ocean's gone up in price and fitness. So there you go. If you keep doing that every day and get them up to maximum fitness, you know, you've got 200,000 pounds, euros or dollars sat in this pen, and they don't take a lot to look after. So that is horses, which is one of my other tips for making some money. Next up, we're going to talk about silage, which I have earned personally a ton of money from doing silage because it is fairly cheap. A lot of people think that you can't do it very cheap and you've got to own a BGA to do it. That's not true. There's plenty of ways you can do it, and cheap ways to do it. First of all, you're either going to need a bunker silo, which I've placed one down here, which you can buy yourself, which will be under placeables and silos. Again, there's going to be modded in things, but these are the standard in-game ones. I've just got a small one. You can place them wherever you wish. Wherever it goes green you can place them. So that's the small one that I've already placed down. Obviously the smaller ones aren't going to have a big capacity as the large ones, and some of the modded ones are absolutely huge. You can fit loads in there. So you can either tip chaff or grass into this bunker silo, and then when you've got it fully compacted, you can then cover this grass or chaff with a blanket, and it will ferment and it will eventually turn into silage. It doesn't take too long really, which is pretty good, and then you can sell that silage. Now you can sell it loose, obviously, if you do it this method. Another method is if you cut grass and use a baler that wraps the grass as you go. So if we go into baling technology, you get instant silage bales. So these first two balers here, it says nothing at the bottom, but if we move on to the third one, it now says a bale wrapper packs grass bales in fall so they can ferment into silage. We'll click on it. As you can see, it's got the little wrappers at the back, so as a bale comes out it will wrap that and it turns it instantly into silage, so you haven't got to wait for it to ferment or anything. Now on Felsburn we're lucky because we have got barn, so we've already got a place we can sell silage. The price isn't as good as the BGA. What we'll do is in a minute is we'll buy the BGA so you can see that, but you can take these bales straight to the barn and sell them. At the minute they're €235 per thousand. So obviously if you've got a bale, that would be 4,000 litres you'll have. Or you can take all your loose out of your bunker silo once it's fermented and go and tip that up and sell that there. But if we go into here, so on Felsburn there is a BGA. If we buy that, obviously you might not be able to afford the BGA straight away, so that's the first two methods that I've told you about are probably going to be your best option to start off with. So this is quite expensive, 564,000 to buy, but we're going to buy it just because I want to show you now in the menu we've got our BGA that appears below barn, and as you can see the price, it's not hugely different. I mean, depending on what map you're on, some maps will be different from others. So I've had some maps where it's been about 700 and something for selling silage at a BGA, so it's over 100 better than the barn. But the only thing with the BGA is when you do sell it at the BGA, you will not get paid instantly. You get paid at midnight. But obviously if you take quite a lot up there, you've got a better price there, and you can wait until midnight and you'll get a very good payout. And if we quickly visit the BGA, if you can afford to buy it, they've normally got huge bunker silos, so we've got two absolute massive ones. If I turn on the help menu and we walk into them, it says fill level chaff 0, because obviously there's nothing in there, and we've got compacting 0 because we haven't got anything to compact. So what I'm going to do now is I'll cheat back over to this tractor. I'm using a sort of buy anything silo just to show you. So if we get some chaff out of here, we'll just get that amount, then we can tip that into our bunker silo. I'll go through chaff a little bit more detail in a minute. Obviously the grass side of it's pretty self-explanatory. If you cut the grass, you can pick it up using a loading wagon, or I highly recommend the milling machine, which is an absolute amazing bit of kit. I think it's in miscellaneous here. There you go. That will pick up pretty much anything in game. So you hook it up to the front of the tractor, it's got a pipe on it, as you can see. And if you've got a trailer connected to the back of your tractor, it would just, you lower it, start it up, and it will just pick up anything. You can go pretty quick with it. Obviously not very realistic for some of you realistic players, but that is one way of picking up your grass. Or you use a loading wagon, which if you've cut your grass and you've got it into a nice swath, either by the mowers that you choose, if the mowers you pick have got swath dropping on, or you'll have to windrow it into a line, you just go along with one of these and pick it up, and then you can tip it straight into your bunker silo here. So we'll start tipping. So we're tipping our chaff into our bunker silo. As you can see, I'll quickly jump out, turn the help menu back on, and now if we go into our bunker silo, it says how much we've got in there, 10,888, compacting 1, so 1%. And just to show you that it doesn't matter whether you mix and match between your chaff and your grass, because again this is a good way of getting as much as you can into your bunker silo. So you could put chaff and then you could go on a mega mow and get loads of grass. So now if we go and put some grass in here, again we'll just use about that much. And then even though it says grass, as soon as we tip it into the bunker silo, it instantly turns into chaff. So it'll go from this dark colour into this sort of lighter green as we drive through, as you can see. And there we go, and we'll jump out. As you can see now we've got 22,238 litres. So what I'm going to do now quick is detach that trailer. We'll keep the help menu on, and I'll just show you quickly about compacting this. It shouldn't take too long because we haven't got a lot in here. As you can see, it's going up. Right, so we're almost at 100%. There you go. We've made 100% now. So now if we jump out there, we will get the blanket silo come up. So if I press L3 because I'm on my PlayStation, that blanket's that, and we've got fermenting silage 1%. Now it won't take too long, it's normally sort of like an overnight thing, depends on what sort of time of day you do it. Let's turn that off. In terms of chaff, what I was going to suggest to you is look at the help menu, because if you ever get stuck on anything, I highly recommend you do come in and read certain things, because some of it is a bit vague but others are pretty good. So it says here for the chaff is made by chopping up a crop using a forage harvester. You can make chaff from corn, wheat, barley or canola. Make sure to use a header that's suitable for the crop you're chopping. Attach a tipper because forage harvesters don't have internal tanks. Chaff is used to make silage. So as you can see from the pictures, the one on the left, they're chaffing corn, and the one on the right is one of the other two crops. It's hard to tell really, it's probably wheat or barley, but it says you can use canola as well. So obviously this is wheat growing here, and there's a corn, we don't own that field, but there's cornfield over there. So just as an example, If we were to go into here, this is what you'll need: a forage harvester. Now these are expensive. Again, you might not be able to do it this way straight away. Obviously recommend leasing one. Even that one to lease is 26,000. Now most of them, as you can see, have got a trailer hitch on the back. So instead of like the picture shows, you've got a forage harvester, unless you've got a worker in the forage harvester and you're following along with a trailer, you can hook up trailers to these, but it does make the turning around at the other end of your field a little bit difficult. But if you've got a trailer attached to the back, it will just chaff it all up and fire it straight out of the pipe there and into the trailer, so that makes that easier. Now if we go along into tools and go to forage harvester headers, as you can see, let's go on to this one because it's a little bit obvious. This one is specifically for corn, as you can see. So this is what you're going to need, something like that. You know, some of these ones are smaller, but then when you have these ones that kind of look a little bit like a mower, like this, these are the ones that are going to do your wheat, barley, it says oats, canola and straw there, but I don't think the others will give you chaff. It's only going to be what it says in the description. I could be wrong. I've not really done chaff that way. I always chaff corn if I do anything, because you seem to get quite a lot of chaff from doing corn. But there you go, you'll need one of those headers if you're going to chaff any of the other crops, the wheat, barley or canola. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it for silage. I've probably missed a few things maybe, but eventually this will ferment. I know there's not a lot in there, and then you can take it to wherever you want. Next up is the first of one of our cheating methods, and it is a mod called the Government Subsidy sign. So you'll find this once you've downloaded it under Placeables, under Miscellaneous, and it's this sign here. It costs you nothing to put down. You can only place it down on land that you actually own, and as you can see down the bottom sort of left corner there, you will get 100,000 euros, pounds or dollars per hour for every one of these you've put down. So if you put 10 down, by the time the next hour comes around, you've got £1 million. And all you do is you select it, and as you can see, it's green because this is all area land that we own. You can spin it round if you want the sign to be facing out to a certain point so it looks like it. Now I do believe this is actually in some areas, I think in America, is actually a thing. Farms get subsidized by the government, so you know, you could just pretend that you're doing that so it doesn't seem like you're cheating. But we're going to put down 10. Like that, and that's cost us nothing to put down. Now we're at 9:16 in the morning, game time. There's our signs. We'll quickly show you them so that you can see what they look like up close and personal. So they do look quite cool, so you could have them sort of at the entrance to your farm. So now if we skip forward, let's get on a dark patch like that. We'll skip forward time. As soon as we hit 10 o'clock, that figure in the top right will change, hopefully, to 1,100,000. Bang. There you go. So we've now got 1 million in our bank. Now if you wanted to get rid of these, if you didn't, you know, if you only want a certain amount cheated into the game, you go into your garage and you scroll along. They should be right at the end. You will have to click on them individually depending on how many you've got put down. but you can just get rid of them like that. There you go, that's how you get 100,000 euros. Next up, another one of our sort of cheating methods is field flipping. Now, what do we mean by that? Basically, if we go on the map, providing obviously you've got enough money to purchase the field, if we take field 12 for instance, it's got barley in it, but if we scroll across, it's ready to harvest. So if we were to purchase that, harvest the field, so we get the money for the crop when we sell it, then we can sell the field back at exactly the same price that we paid for it. And not only that, if we scroll across, I've chose this field for a reason, if we look at barley, the second symbol in from the left, the best price for barley to sell is at the grain mill for 679 euros. And look what's just across the road from this field, the grain mill. Absolutely easy money. So if we buy that like so, we then harvest it. Obviously I'm not going to do that now. Harvest it, sell it at the grain mill, and then we can click back on this thing and we can sell for exactly the same price that we paid for it. So that is what we call field flipping, which is a bit naughty, but there you go. That is all the methods I've shown you. I hope you have enjoyed the video and you found some of it useful and I haven't waffled on too much. If you have enjoyed it, please give us a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do, and don't forget to smash that bell so you don't miss any future videos of mine. I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.